You know that feeling, right? Your work phone rings and your stomach does a little flip. Or maybe you're the one who has to make the call and you're sitting there trying to rehearse every single word in your head. It's a real thing. But what if I told you that in just the next few minutes, we could swap that anxiety for some serious, rock-solid confidence? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. Let's get into it. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to break down why phone calls feel so tricky in the first place. Then I'm going to hand you a perfect blueprint that works for any call. After that, we'll talk about the real power of your voice. And to wrap it all up, I'll give you the secret weapons for handling any complication a call can throw at you, so you can handle it like a total pro. All right, first things first, let's tackle the big question. Why in the world are phone calls so tough sometimes? And let me just say, it's not just you. There's a really good reason for it, and it all comes down to the fact that your voice suddenly has to do all the work. Figuring that out is step one to becoming a master of the phone. So, yeah, what is it really? Why is just picking up the phone feel like such a bigger deal than, just chatting with someone in person? Well, the whole answer is actually about what's not there, what's missing from the conversation. Okay, so this is the absolute heart of the matter. When you're talking to someone face to face, you're using your whole toolkit, right? A smile, a nod, your hands, you're communicating with your entire body. But the second you get on the phone, poof, all of that is gone. Your voice is suddenly left to do all the heavy lifting. I mean, it has to carry everything, your professionalism, your friendly vibe, your entire point, all by itself. So if your voice is out there on its own, how do we help it out? Simple. We give it a structure to lean on. And that's exactly what this perfect call blueprint is all about. Think of it as your secret framework for nailing every single call. It doesn't matter if you're the one dialing or the one picking up. Yeah, think of this like a simple roadmap. Seriously, every single professional call you'll ever make, from a quick just checking in to a big important negotiation, can follow these 5 easy stages. And look, this isn't about sounding like a robot, not at all. It's all about making things clear. This structure just cuts through the confusion, it makes sure you get what you need from the call, and it makes the person on the other end feel like you respect their time. It's your game plan for a perfect call every time. And it all kicks off with these super simple but really powerful opening lines. When you answer the phone with a clear company name speaking, or you call someone and say, "Hi, this is name from company," you immediately sound professional and on the ball. And then when you follow up with, "I'm calling about," you're cutting right to the chase. That shows you respect their time, and trust me, that's always a fantastic way to start. Okay, but what happens when you need to talk to one specific person? Easy. A simple, polite, "Could I speak to name, please?" is basically the gold standard. It's perfect. And if that person isn't available, you'll probably hear something like, "I'm afraid he's not at his desk right now," followed by that helpful offer, "Can I take a message?" See? It's just a smooth, polite, and super efficient way to handle it. All right, so you've got the blueprint, you've got the key phrases, you're already way ahead of the game. But now let's talk about the real magic ingredient, your voice itself. This is where we go from just, being understood to being someone who's actually impressive and memorable on the phone. And really, it boils down to 3 key things. First, your tone. This is basically your personality coming through the phone. Do you sound friendly and positive, or kind of bored and distant? Second is your pace. This is the rhythm. Are you speaking at a nice, steady, confident speed, or are you rushing your words and sounding stressed out? And finally, clarity. You gotta make sure every word comes out crisp and clear. No mumbling, especially when you're saying something important like a name or an email address. And hey, here's a little pro tip for you, and you can literally try this right now. Smile while you're talking on the phone. I know, it sounds a little weird, and it might feel silly at first, but it actually changes the physical shape of your mouth, and I promise you it makes your voice sound warmer and more welcoming to the person listening. Seriously, give it a shot. It's a game changer. Okay, let's be real for a second. Not every call goes smoothly. You're going to get bad connections, people are going to mumble. It happens. So now we're going to look at how to deal with those little hiccups and actually use them as a chance to show just how professional you are. Oh, you know this moment. We've all had it. The line gets all crackly, or the other person says something really important, and you just totally missed it. That little shot of panic hits you. So what do you do in that moment? The answer is so much simpler than you think. You just use one of these polite, simple phrases. Look, there is absolutely zero shame in asking someone to repeat themselves. In fact, saying something like, "I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that," doesn't make you look bad. It makes you look like a confident professional who cares more about getting it right than just guessing.
All right, let's talk about another classic challenge, spelling things out. We're talking names, email addresses, reference codes. The stuff we're getting just one letter wrong can create a huge headache later. So, how can you be 100% sure you're getting it right every single time?
Well, you pull out the ultimate pro tool, the NATO Phonetic Alphabet. And yes, this is the exact same system that pilots and the military use to make sure there are no mistakes when things are, life or death. For us in the business world, it just completely wipes out any confusion between letters that sound the same over the phone, like M and N or B and P. So what does that look like? Well, instead of just saying your last name is Smith, you'd say that's Smith, as in S for Sierra, M for Mike, and so on. There is just no way to mix up Mike with November. Honestly, learning even just a handful of these is a total power move that will save you so much trouble down the line. Okay, so let's wrap all this up into a simple checklist for you, your pro-collar checklist. First, for structure, always follow that 5-stage blueprint. For language, use those polite, professional phrases we talked about. For your voice, keep an eye on your tone, pace, and clarity. And for troubleshooting, handle any problem with confidence using those clarification phrases and, of course, the phonetic alphabet. That's it. That is your formula for absolutely mastering any professional call. And that brings us to our last and maybe the most important question. I want you to think about this for a second. What is the one thing from this guide that you're going to use on your very next business call? Just one thing. Maybe it's the smiling trick, or maybe it's trying out the 5-stage blueprint, or even just using one phonetic letter. Pick one, put it into practice, and I guarantee you'll start to feel that confidence build.